Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Hello everyone and welcome to my discussion of the latest episode of Critical Role, aka when will Fjord finally learn that he can't just blindly go on water and think that everything's gonna be fine. After a 2-week hiatus, unexpected hiatus, but of course everyone was healthy and happy. They mentioned multiple times, so that's always good to know. They came back. Surprisingly guys, Sam was not baby alien on Masked Singer. I didn't think he would be, and I don't think a lot of people thought he would be. I think they just thought it was like a fun joke. A lot of the descriptions fit though, and it would definitely be something that Sam would do. Unfortunately, I just don't think mainstream has embraced Critical Role as much as Critical Role itself. Like, I don't think that even as popular as it is, like a network show like Fox would see the point of it, which kind of sucks because, you know, like they put all these sports players every week on Masked Singer who I have no idea who they are. But I just feel like for Critical Role, they'd be like, oh, we don't know who that is. We're not going to put them on. And it just kind of sucks because I feel like that's the same thing with when they had a Pop Funko for Vex, an exclusive, at Best Buy for Comic-Con this year. It was so hard to get, and Best Buy was so bad with, like, I will give them credit that everyone did eventually get it, but just, like, that night, it was such a mess. And the next day, it was such a mess. And I think it's because they truly, like, Pop Funko didn't understand that it was going to be such a big thing and so many people were going to want it. So I do feel like Critical Role kind of gets the short end of the stick in that sense. But I will say that I was watching Masked Singer this past week, Wednesday, and Baby Alien got voted off. And that was really the first part where part of me was like, is it him? Because, like, Critical Role coming back the week that the Baby Alien gets voted off Masked Singer, I was like, this is too serendipitous. So it wasn't him, but it was fun to dream that, you know, that's why they were on their hiatus. So yeah, the hiatus definitely came after a shocking reveal that Molly is alive. We still don't really fully know if he's Molly, if he's not. I think everyone's operating under the assumption that he is Lucian or Nonagon or just somehow not Molly. I know there were a couple descriptions of they didn't talk to him, but Jester could see in her scry that he was holding himself differently. He didn't seem as open and loose as Molly did. So I definitely think that, yeah, it's either not Molly or it's Molly playing a long game and, like, pretending, even though I feel like if you don't have memories of someone, that's very hard to pretend, or maybe, like, the Molly memories are coming back. I don't know. Either way, I don't think it's our Molly. I was so disappointed when she didn't send him a message because me and my friend had literally been texting that day before the episode aired what we thought was going to happen, and we were like, Jester's going to send him a message immediately and be like, hi, hello, so this is Jester, just wanted to let you know that what's up, why are you here? And, like, as soon as she was like, I'm going to send a message, within like 5 minutes of them airing, I was like, frick, yes, Jester. And they talked her out of it, unfortunately. I think it was like half and half wanted to send him a message. She just wanted to send a message to anyone because she was like, I'll send a message to Vess, and they were like, no. And she was like, I'll send a message to, they were like, no. So I do love, like, Jester's chaoticness of that because, like, we all want to know what Molly's gonna sound like, what accent he's gonna have, you know? I don't know. Me and my friend were debating this the other day of, like, where exactly they are in the timeline. I have not, I said before, watched the full-on campaign 1. So I don't really know what matches to what. I personally kind of think this is getting towards not the end, but like the final act, like Act 3. If there's 3 acts in this, I feel like they're entering that. She thinks this is still more Act 2 because she feels that this is similar to their first big bad that they met, and they met him like 2 years into the campaign, which is about where they are now. I just feel like because so many people keep coming back that we'd already dealt with, I think that that's kind of like the full circle, you know, when like seasons of TV shows and movies, when they get towards like the end of their saga, like they start bringing back like these big bads that you thought were such a problem, you thought you got rid of easy, and now they're back. And of course with this I'm talking of not only Molly but Avantika, and similarly Ukatoa. When Avantika came back and like all this stuff happened, I was like literally shook. I feel like that doesn't sum it up, but I was just like, that was the moment where I was like, we're never, ever, 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 ever getting rid of Ukatoa unless we, like, kill him ourselves, which isn't going to be easy by any means. Like, I just feel bad for Fjord and subsequently Travis because I feel like the poor man could not catch a break. Like, he just had that beautiful moment with the Wild Mother where he made his oath and, you know, everything about that. Everyone was waiting to see his oath, and I think it was such a fitting, beautiful oath for him to be a protector of the seas and of freedom. And it makes him, it kind of brings both sides of him, like the parts that he liked about Uk'otoa and being on the sea and being open and free. And then the parts he likes about the Wild Mother, about bringing, you know, peace and balance and justice and all that. I feel like it's a good mix, and I feel like he was finally in a good, he finally has been, I think, the last few episodes in a good place in his life of being like, you know, I don't really know what's happening, but I'm excited by that prospect. Like, I feel like he doesn't have that pressure to feel guilty about what happened to his old mentor. He doesn't have to worry about stopping Uk'otoa. And I was so happy for him because I was like, you know, the man can just breathe. Travis can breathe because, you know, Travis gets stressed out about this stuff. And then bang, Avantika came, and I was just like, oh great, oh great. I have to say I am very excited by the prospect of it. I think she was such an amazing villain, and I also feel like what Matt does so great that you don't get to see a lot in like a lot of other media, and I was just reading an article about this actually, female villains that are complex and have driving motives and are three-dimensional and that you cannot root for in a sense, but like you're like, yes, when they fight, like it leads to a good fight. And I feel like Avantika and also Vess in this episode is showing us that, yeah, he is very amazing at making these complex female characters and villains, and I'm so excited for the prospect of it. I mean, she's obviously going to be much more powerful now than she was when we fought her, and I will say that I think it was a certain amount of, not luck, but I mean that counterspell really helped out. The fact that Liam Roll and Nat 22 decode her book really helped out. So her story definitely was not cut short, but I think advanced a lot more than it could have been. I think it could have gone a million different ways, like a lot of things in D&D, but they just so happen to have luck on their side, the party, when decoding and when doing the counterspell that really helped them out, I think. So I think it'll be very interesting now if she's kind of at a higher level, and, you know, if they don't maybe get those lucky rolls, where exactly we're going to be with this. I feel like Avantika definitely, you know, when they come, I was reading a thing, because people don't know specifically, I think, or unless I missed it because it was towards the end, you know, when I start to boink out because it's so late, but it's basically like if a person like Avantika dies with a warlock pact unfulfilled, then when you come back, all like other motivations or wants, desires that don't serve fulfilling that pact and that agreement you made drop to the wayside, and you're so only focused on doing what your patron warlock wants you to do. So I mean, that could really be like what she's driving towards. I just like, oh gosh, it was like, okay, I'm not even a big fan of Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I like the first one, but that's it. But you know this scene when like Elizabeth is like, I don't believe in ghost stories, and then the guy's like, well, Miss Elizabeth, or well, Miss Swan, you best start believing in them because you win one. And then like they all change. I felt like that's what it was. And someone did fan art for that. And it literally, that's what it felt like when she just came and she was like, oh, darling, we're not done yet. And grabbed. I was just like, oh, like, oh my gosh. And we haven't had a fight in so long, which I'm fine with. Like I said, I feel like it's a lot less stressful. And I feel like we were getting a lot of character development instead of the, like, it wasn't just like talking around doing nothing. But I'm really excited for this fight, especially, I just get so more excited for the fighting now that they're higher levels, like all the stuff they can do, even though, especially like with Avantika now, it's going to be very interesting what they can do, because a lot of jester stuff, like Toll the Dead and Turn Undead, is gonna not work on her, I think. I'm pretty sure they have advantage against Turn Undead or something like that. So it's just gonna be very interesting with that. And then also we learned a lot more about Vess. I think we can officially categorize her as a bad guy. I think everyone was kind of like unsure, like maybe she'll surprise us. But after the way she treated Pumat, she is dead to me. You do not make Pumat sweat. Even though I feel like, okay, the funny thing was Pumat, I always forget, like has a contract with the Cerberus Assembly. So like she was probably just like, yo, do it. Like I feel like, you know, I hope he's not mad at the Mighty Nine because I feel like they have that deal, so like he would have had to done that anyway, like no matter what she said. But then also people were, and I was kind of like, no, because I don't think it would be. I don't think Matt would do that to us, since he says Yeza is his self-insert and like just how much Yeza loves his wife. But people were saying that maybe Yeza could be like a big bad, or not really telling us all he has been truthful about because of working with Vess. I personally don't think so, just because, again, I don't think Matt would do that. I mean, it would be completely shocking. I feel like if they didn't have a kid, maybe Matt would do that, but I feel like also having Luke, like, he wouldn't do that to Yeza. But yeah, seeing the way that Yeza reacted to Vess, the way she treated Puma, like, I was just like, okay, this lady is, we gotta kill her. Like, when Veth was like, oh, so you want me to kill her? Like, she has to die for hurting Yeza. I was like, I'm with you, Beth. I'm with you. Like, everyone tried to talk her out of it. And even Yeza was like, maybe don't assassinate a high-ranking Cerberus Assembly member, you know, for me. But she's gonna die. Maybe they can make it look like an accident. I don't really know. Either way, I'm not concerned. Also, before I wrap it up, gotta talk about my new favorite NPC, Henry Crabgrass, King of Consent. Love him. Caduceus giving Jester, I think it was him, right, that gave her the necklace that makes so she can talk to plants. Honestly, one of the best decisions ever, because it reminds me of when she wanted to talk to the bees too, and she was just like, hello bees. She's always just so cute, and Henry, just amazing. When she was like, went to pet him, he's like, consent please, and then just, oh, I love him so much. I hope he comes up. I know they were thinking about taking him with them for a sec, but he's just, I love him, and I love that everyone was obsessed with him, and like everyone was so worried about Molly, and then within 5 minutes we're like, Henry. Also, Bo and Yasha, gotta mention them very quickly. So good, guys. I wasn't feeling great when I was watching the episode, but the part when Bo comes stumbling in and steps on Yasha, and Yasha's just like, hello, I'm down here, and seeing the like just disaster lesbians try and like be like, oh, you could, but I'm down, you could take the bed, no, I'm just like try and talk it out is just, I feel like we're very, very close to them getting together. I just think like Marisha knows it, Ashley knows it's happening, Yasha kind of knows it's happening, Bo also kind of knows it happening, but both of them are like being respectful of the other one and being like, I don't want to push anything. Like, it's just so typical of like how girlfriends are, you know, of like, you know, when you have a crush on a girl and you're like, you'll just stare at her and be like, you know what, if I just stare at her long enough, she's gonna notice me and fall in love with me. Like, I feel like they're just trying to be like so respectful of each other, which is awesome to see, but they definitely need that push, and I think Jester was trying to give that to them. And, you know, Jester's definitely one for romance, and I feel like if Beth gets involved too, it'll be no time before they're actually together. So, very interesting episode overall. I love the Avantika reveal. I would say it's more surprising to me than the Molly reveal, because I feel like Molly, everyone had been saying for so long that he was coming back in a sense, so when they went to his grave and it was dug up, that wasn't, I was like, but it wasn't like shocking, you know? It was kind of like, oh, one of the theories that I've been hearing has been confirmed. Avantika, I thought that bitch was dead. I thought she was dead and gone. So to find out she comes back, and like just the way Matt described it with like a very familiar hat and like, you know, not saying it's Avantika, but you could see it all, like Marisha and Liam, I think especially, were like, oh shit, it's her. Like they realized first. It shocked me. So once again, Matt, hands down for being an amazing storyteller and an amazing descriptor at that, because I did not see that coming at all. So I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with the fight next week. And if you have seen this episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down in the comments. Also, make sure this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time, darlings. Bye!